Sheila Hyland. Welcome to a special holiday edition of Focus on Pittsburgh. Today we're talking holiday shopping, holiday spending, and hot holiday gifts. First, let's talk about spending and shopping. Joining us is Dr. Audrey Gusky, consumer specialist with Duquesne University. And it's always good to have you with us here, Audrey.
Great to be here. Thanks, Sheila.
Well, we've got to start off talking about the economy. It has been reeling for over a year now. How is that affecting holiday shopping, holiday spending?
Obviously, it is affecting it tremendously. What we found is the stock market with the roller coaster ride up and down is a big issue. Consumer confidence has been at a low for a while. People are concerned about job security, and they're concerned about the war on terrorism. You add all of these things together, and as a result, what suggests consumer spending is going to be low. It has been low throughout the whole year 2002. And if you look at the back-to-school shopping, which is also an indication, that was very weak. And so what we're finding is chances are the Christmas shopping season isn't going to be merry for a lot of retailers.
That's a shame. A recent survey says that 21% of Americans plan to spend less this holiday season. Now, is that really because of the economy or just because they're afraid of hearing about the economy and thinking, boy, I better cut back just in case?
It sort of feeds on its, which comes first, chicken or the egg.
Right.
The economy is bad, consumers are concerned. Because consumers are concerned, they're cutting back on their spending. As a result, spending is going to be pretty stagnant this year. Last year, it wasn't that good. We had increases of about 3%. This year, I'm thinking there's not going to be any increase at all, which is really bad news for retailers.
But it seems like every year we're saying people are spending less, people are spending less.
That's not the case, because if you look at a decade ago when we had the mid-90s, things were booming, and we had sales and increases of about 10% for a couple of years there. So it's very cyclical. This year may be weak, next year may be stronger, but this isn't the year that people are going to rebound and spend.
Are we not doing better now, though, this year than we were this time last year, which was still fresh from September 11th?
Well, if you look at the aftermath of September 11th, we were real concerned about the economy, but I think in a way it boosted sales because people felt closer to their family and closer to home and got more into the traditions and what was important. And as a result, toward the end of the holiday season, things boomed and they did pretty well. It's been a whole year now, and people are just really cutting back. They're being more conservative. That's not to say people aren't going to be spending, because you're still looking at about $300 billion with a B dollars in sales. So and there's some retailers who are going to do very well. You've got online shopping, who is going to probably double and quadruple their sales from last year. They've been doing that for a while. You've got discounters, so they're going to be doing extremely well. So the department stores, unless they're having big Midnight Madness sales or coupon sales, probably are going to be hurting. But overall, discounters and a lot of the specialty stores might be doing pretty well this year.
Retailers every year count on Black Friday, that is the day after Thanksgiving, for making much of their money for the entire year. How did they do the day after Thanksgiving this year?
Surprisingly, they did extremely well. And I think it took a lot of us experts by surprise.
Right, despite the economy.
Yeah, because we were thinking that it was going to be a very poor day after Thanksgiving, which is traditionally one of the biggest shopping days of the year. Not the biggest.
Right.
The biggest is usually the weekend before Christmas. But sales increased by about 10% across the board.
And
so
how do you explain that?
That was phenomenal. Well, I think what happened is people, thought, hey, Thanksgiving was much later this year than it has ever been. We've got less shopping days. So what they thought, I'm assuming what most consumers were thinking, is let's get into the stores and start our shopping now, because we really have less than 3 weeks before Christmas.
And of course there were big sales too. And we do see
tremendous
sales.
Yes,
we see a lot of sales at department stores. Are they really sales per se, or do they jack up the prices to begin with?
A little bit of everything. I
Okay.
think typically this year the sales have been very true, and they've been very strong, and it's been really a buyer's, consumers market, and that is fabulous news for us as consumers. Retailers are very concerned. They're very concerned about the economy, and they were afraid people weren't going to be coming into their stores. So they're doing everything in their power to get us in there. Tremendous sales, lots of promotions, lots of discounts from even like around Halloween time. And so as consumers, that is wonderful for us, and I think that those sales will continue. Bad news for consumers, because retailers were concerned. The inventories are much lower than they have ever been. And so if you need to do your shopping and you're like me and wait till the last minute, procrastination is a bad thing this year,
Is it just me, Audrey, or do I see coupons everywhere? Look, I have never seen so many coupons before.
And once again, that's good news for consumers.
Is that the way department stores have decided they're going to lure people in?
Well, one store
coupon
started
sales?
it, and then they've all sort of like had to follow the bandwagon.
But doesn't it lose its effect after a while? It seems every day there's
Well,
another coupon.
What it's doing, Sheila, is it's conditioning us as consumers. I'm not going to shop unless I have my coupon. Wait a minute. You know, I don't have my big discounts, and so I'm going to wait until the weekend or next weekend or whenever they're offering the coupons. So in ways, that's bad that retailers have done that. Bad news for retailers, because now as consumers, I'm not going to shop unless I've got, you know, 20% off or a particular coupon in hand. And so as a result, what we're finding is sales have been very strong since Thanksgiving, but I think what's happening is people are buying all these discounts. So in the end, are retailers going to make the money that they wanted? Probably not. And you have to think about the holiday season as being at least 50% of sales for retailers. So it is a make or break season.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And you've got retailers like Kmart who's been hurting all year long.
Right.
What's it going to do to them?
Right.
This is perhaps going to suggest whether they're going to stay in business or they're going to continue with the bankruptcy and the problems they've had.
And there is so much competition, too, for business, too. What are the ways that they're trying to lure customers in other than, say, coupon sales?
Well, coupons is a big one, discount sales, having different promotions within the store, having a lot of activities for children, entertainment for people. You know, the high school band plays in the mall, and that's a draw. So they're doing a lot of festivities and things like that.
My guess is, too, in a poorer economy, those discount chains probably do maybe even better than they normally would.
Absolutely.
In a good year.
Yeah, and Walmart this year has done fabulous, and a lot of those discounters are going to continue to do extremely
It's because they brought people in at, what, 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning the day after Thanksgiving, right?
Banging down the door.
Those great DVD sales and so forth.
One of the things to look for, too, is another sort of hot issue on the retail trend this Christmas are services. What we found is people don't have time to go shopping and brave the malls and fight the weather, and so they're buying gift certificates and gift cards. So maybe you know someone who likes a favorite restaurant, or is a golfer, so you can get golf lessons, or you can get a fitness center certificate. So we found that's going to be very successful. Easy to wrap.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that will be really hot items, different gift certificates and gift cards throughout the holiday season.
Okay. I'm curious to know, do people still traditionally do most of their shopping in the malls, or are they branching out and going into individual stores or little sections of Shady Side and Sewickley? Where are they doing most of their shopping these days?
Well, downtown retailers are hoping they'll do it downtown, even though that is still hurting, and we need to get more people down in the downtown area. Typically, it's the malls. They seem to be the big draw because it's easy.
Still.
You know, it's there, it's got all the stores, it's the convenience. You got specialty stores who are doing well. The problems that consumers are afraid of, if you're shipping something to a loved one in a different city and you do a specialty store, well, they may not have that. They won't have that store in other areas. And so you're going to shop in the larger department stores, a Lord & Taylor's or a Kaufman's, where you know that they're going to be outside the greater
So how do those
area.
specialty stores compete? And how do they get people in, or is it just a certain select group of people that shop at these specialty stores?
Well, it's partly a select group that they have shopping, but also they have such unique items and they provide such fabulous service. So if you're looking for something very special and you know that person very well, that you feel they're going to keep that gift, well, then you can go to these specialty stores because you're going to find things there that you wouldn't find anywhere else in some of the more, you know, mass merchandise types of retailers.
Earlier you mentioned Kmart. We saw Ames go under as well. Kmart may be closing more stores. How is that affecting the market? And do you anticipate we may see more stores going out of business this coming year? You know, larger retail chains?
I think what we found, Sheila, is we are oversaturated in this market and across the country. There are retailers opening new stores all over. If you open a new store, something has to close.
Right.
Walmart is expanding everywhere, and they're a big threat to a lot of the stores like the Kmart's, and Target is doing extremely well. And so we're going to be seeing these trendier, more successful stores keep opening, and then the weaker ones are going to keep falling by the wayside. So for the year 2003, absolutely there's going to be more stores closing. Unfortunately, a lot of the smaller stores, the owned, individually owned stores, may be hurting because they don't have the big power, the big spending power that the mass merchandisers tend to have.
Finally, we have about 30 seconds left. Give us some tips if you're home watching, saying, what can I do to make sure I don't spend too much? Because I always spend more than I say I'm going to. Help me, Audrey.
I'll help you, Sheila. All right, a couple of things you need to keep in mind. Just like Santa, make a list, check it twice, and stick to your list.
Sure.
Easier said than done, I know. But you've got to know who you want to buy for and about the range, price range, and really try to stick with it because that's a good thing. Don't get swept up by the moment at the last minute. The snow starts falling, you hear the Christmas carols, it's 2 days before Christmas, and you've bought your children tons of presents.
Oh, you know me, and then you have to go back and get more.
So try to stay out of the stores the last couple of days, but have a budget. And they've also said that if you avoid credit cards, if you pay with cash or checks or debit cards, you'll at least stay within your limits. You don't want January. You don't want a painful January.
All right. that good advice.
Happy shopping.
Thank you, Audrey. You as well. Thanks for being with us. And when we come back,